Weather and climate. The weather of a place determines the way of our living. It affects the clothes we wear and the food we eat. Not only this, our mood and attitude towards the things are also affected by the condition of weather. Weather. The term weather refers to the atmospheric conditions of a place on a particular day. The day-to-day conditions of the atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, and many more are called the weather at that place. The various factors that affect the weather of a place are called elements of the weather. These elements keep changing from day to day. Maximum and minimum temperature. The general observation is that the mornings are cool and pleasant, while the afternoons are hot and dry. The evenings are comparatively cool. It might be humid during afternoon or evening. The time of the day when it is the hottest is said to have the maximum temperature, while the time of the day when it is cool is said to have the minimum temperature. The maximum and minimum temperature of the day is recorded by a maximum and minimum thermometer. Maximum and minimum thermometer consists of a U-tube with two bulbs on the top of each arm. One arm records the maximum, while the other arm records the minimum. Two adjustable steel markers help to record the temperature. Humidity. Humidity is the measure of dampness in the air. It refers to the quantity of water vapor present in the air. A drier place will have lower humidity, whereas places near the sea coast have higher humidity. Relative humidity refers to the amount of water vapor present in the air expressed as the percentage of maximum amount of water vapor that it can hold. Relative humidity is measured using a wet and dry bulb thermometer, hygrometer. Rain and snow. Rain is the condition of weather when the water vapor present in the air condenses and falls on the ground. When the humidity in the air increases up to the saturation point, it starts condensing to form the clouds. When the temperature falls further, the clouds become heavy and change into droplets of water, what we call as rain. If the temperature falls down all of a sudden, the water vapor freezes to form snow. If the temperature fall is after sunset, the water vapor near the ground condenses and changes into fog. Rainfall is measured using a rain gauge. It is basically a measuring cylinder with a funnel on top to collect rainwater. Climate. The condition of weather of a place over a longer period of time is termed as climate. Climate can also be referred to as the average weather pattern of a place. Latitude of a place is the most important factor affecting the climate of a place. Broadly speaking, there are three climatic zones on the earth, viz. The torrid, the temperate, and the frigid zone. As it is evident from the given figure, the torrid zone refers to the area near the equator. It is hot and wet throughout the year. The rays of the sun fall directly in this region. This region has equatorial evergreen forests. The frigid zone refers to the area near the poles. Obviously, this region is extremely cold. The sun's rays fall slanting in this region. It has tundra kind of vegetation where only mosses, grasses, and short trees grow. The region between the equatorial and frigid zone is temperate region. This region is neither too hot nor too cold. A wide variety of vegetation is seen in this region. The vegetation includes tropical forests with deciduous trees and coastal forests with mangroves. Adaptation of animals to the climate. There is a wide variety of animals found on the earth, along with a wide range of climatic conditions too. The animals adapt themselves to the different climatic conditions. Nature has provided different creatures with different ways to adapt themselves in different surroundings. The adaptations involve adaptation to food, shelter, and habitat. Polar regions. The animals in the region have a very thick fur to conserve heat. They have white coat which helps them to camouflage with the surroundings. Penguins, who were initially birds, have gradually developed a thick layer of fat to protect themselves from the cold weather of the Arctic region. They like to eat fish, so they prefer swimming instead of flying. This is the major cause of transformation of penguins from flight birds to swimmers. The thick layer of fat not only protects the polar animals from cold, but also acts as a food reservoir when there is food scarcity. Another important animal living in polar regions is the polar bear, which is a good swimmer. Its paws are wide and large, which help it not only to swim well, but also walk with ease on the snow. It can close its nostrils and can remain underwater for long duration. It has a strong sense of smell so that it can catch its prey. Hibernation and migration are other methods adopted to prevent themselves from the harsh climatic conditions. Some birds of the polar regions migrate to warmer regions during the winter and return only when summer begins to set in. Migration is the mass movement of birds and animals from one part of the world to another according to the season for food and reproduction. Hibernation is the process of remaining inactive or dormant during winter. Tropical forests. The tropical forests provide a good range of food to its residents, but the number of consumers is very high, which forces the animals to confine themselves to different regions of the forests. The tall grasses and tall trees are generally captured by birds because of their ability to climb and fly high. The middle layer is occupied by monkeys, lizards and birds which do not fly very high. Jaguar are also the residents of this region. Animals that cannot climb high, like gorillas, bears and other clumsy animals, confine themselves to forest floors. The tropical grasslands are occupied by grazers with different food habits. They generally have long legs to cover long distances. Many animals are adapted to living on the trees. Red-eyed frog has developed sticky pads on its feet to help it climb trees on which it lives. As there is a fierce competition for food, some animals are adapted to get food which is not easily reachable. For example, a bird called toucan possesses a long large beak which helps it to reach the fruits on the branches, which are otherwise too weak to support its weight. Many tropical animals have sensitive hearing, sharp eyesight, and thick skin. Their skin color helps them to camouflage by blending with the surroundings. Lions and tigers have thick skin. The elephant is well adapted to living in rainforest. It shows these adaptations. It has strong sense of smell because it uses its long trunk as nose. It uses its trunk to pull down fruits and leaves. It uses its long ears to hear even soft sounds and also to cool itself. It uses its tusks to tear the bark from trees. Hot climates. Animals living in deserts are camel, reptiles, birds, insects and small mammals. They show adaptation for protection from heat and for conservation of water. Most desert animals remain inactive during day and remain buried in the sand or in burrows. They come out only at night and so are called nocturnal animals. Camel is so well adapted in the desert condition that it is called the ship of the desert. It shows these adaptations for the conservation of water. It drinks large quantity of water and stores it in the stomach. It excretes very little water in the form of urine. It has a hump that stores food in the form of fat. Therefore, camel can survive without food for long. Limbs have large pads which help it to walk on hot and slippery land. The nostrils have flaps which close the nostrils during dust storm.